because I'd already given up on myself. I had put myself on a dusty shelf and I had told myself that it was too late to start over. I was in my 30s now, I was a mother now, but to whose standard? Who says you can't start over and you can't change your life because you're now 30 or 40 or 50? This is not a success story. This is the beginning story. This is a work in progress. One thing that we're not going to bring in 2023 is the "it's too late" rhetoric. I don't know where these life standards come from, whether it's society, family, or just our own expectations that we put on ourselves, but they really set me up for failure because I really thought that by 25 I was going to be married, kids, homeowner, white picket fence, high flying career, and multiple streams of income. But I didn't factor in the most important thing: life. What is that saying? When you make plans, God laughs. And God really must have been keying at me when I was making all these plans. I was going to do all these things by a certain age. And it's not that we shouldn't be aiming high and going for our dreams. It's the fact that we limit ourselves by putting a time frame that it needs to happen by this time. There are things that can happen that can deviate you from that plan. You might lose a loved one. You could lose your job. You could be depressed. Your relationship can break down. These are things that we don't plan for, that we don't want to happen, that can deviate us from achieving what we want in a certain time frame, which could leave us to believe that we're a failure, it's too late, it's never going to happen, because we're now in our 30s. There's so many inspiring people who became successful later in life: Oprah Winfrey, Vera Wang, Anna Wintour, J.K. Rowling, Viola Davis, Steve Harvey, Morgan Freeman, just to name a few. So I wanted to share my story that even if you don't have the white picket fence, you still live at home with your parents, you're single, you're in a job that you hate, and you probably don't even know where to start. It's never too late to reinvent yourself, to transform your life, to improve your finances, to become your higher self and live your best life, whether you're in your 30s, 40s, or 50s. If you're new, hello. My name is Lorraine and I'm your self-care soul sister. We're a vibe over here, so subscribe to the channel and join the family. So I've always been a high achiever with big dreams, which mainly stem from being an only child with a lot of expectations being put on me, but also a small hint of my competitive nature. So I followed the traditional route, okay? Education, university, stable career, and purchasing a house in my late 20s, which was the only good financial decision that I made in my 20s, by the way. So because I had made it in life to my standard, right, I spent majority of my 20s just coasting through life and keeping up with the Joneses, buying design items I didn't necessarily need or want, but were being perpetuated by social media that I needed them, and eating out at expensive restaurants and traveling a lot, which I don't regret, by the way. But I was never satisfied emotionally, spiritually, and even financially. It was like I was chasing an unknown destination because I didn't know my why, I didn't know my purpose, and I didn't know what my true calling was. So I was just coasting. Fast forward, I turned 30 and I have a mini breakdown child because life is not going the way that I want it to go. And simultaneously, this is where the extraneous variables came into play and life hit me, my mom passing and falling pregnant soon after. When they say when it rains it pours, or it poured, all right, okay? This set me 10 steps, let me say, no, like 100 steps backwards with where I already was in life. It wasn't until I was in my darkest moment and everything is going wrong and I've had to piece myself back together that something was awakened inside of me, that I found myself and I found my true purpose and I understood what my why was. My limitation was my scarcity mindset because I'd already given up on myself. I had put myself on a dusty shelf and I had told myself that it was too late to start over. I was in my 30s now, I was a mother now. It's too late for me to start over, but to whose standard? Who says you can't start over and you can't change your life because you're now 30 or 40 or 50? You can start over when you need to start over. You can reset when you need to reset. There is no time constraint that you need to have achieved something by this, or else you will never do it, or else it is impossible for you to do it. And it was in that moment that I threw away the disguise of being realistic and I stepped into abundance and grace and started betting on myself and improving myself from the inside out, starting from healing my inner child. And this is not a success story. This is the beginning story. This is a work in progress. It's only been 1 year since I made the decision to walk in my abundance, but the transformation that I've seen in my life compared to where I was, literally rock bottom. When I tell you that doors just started opening for me, when I stepped into my purpose and my calling and I understood my why, I quit my job. I knew the kind of content that I needed to do. I started my business. I had brands that I loved reaching out to work with me. I was a part of a TV documentary. I was chosen to be part of a YouTube Black class of 2023, and so many other miracles that were happening in my personal life that would not have happened if I remained in my scarcity mindset of it's too late to do anything and to change my life because I'm in my 30s, because I'm a mother now. If you're in your 30s or 40s or 50s and you've given up on yourself, you've given up on your dreams, and you've put yourself on a dusty shelf, it's time to undust yourself. It's time to believe in yourself. It's time to step into your own abundance, understand your values, your purpose, your calling, and your why, and start living your best soft life. So instead of being afraid to fail and being afraid that things are not going to work out the way that you want them to when you want them to, first of all, just remove that time restraint and lean into fear. Embrace that rock bottom, because it's in that rock bottom that your rebirth happens, that your true awakening is going to happen, and you will step into your purpose. Sometimes things have to go wrong before they go right. Sometimes you need to go down before you can get back up. So embrace that down. Understand that there's a reason why you are in that season. There's a reason why you had to fall, so that when you get back up, you're going to fly and you're going to be unstoppable. So as we're stepping into 2023, we're about to get my life together, honey, okay? We're going to reach higher heights and reach more milestones, but still doing it effortlessly and living a life of ease, because all I want is freedom to live the life that I want, the life that I know that I deserve, without having to kill out myself and work twice or 3 times as hard for me to get there. One thing that we're not going to bring in 2023 is the "it's too late" rhetoric. Don't put barriers in front of yourself to stop yourself from living the life that you deserve. We all have different advantages and privileges and disadvantages. Just because somebody has achieved something or is living a certain life at a certain age doesn't mean that it's too late for you to achieve that thing just because you've passed that age. I hope this has been helpful and has lit a fire inside of you to change your life no matter how old you are. Share this with somebody who needs to hear this message and change somebody's life today. If you come all this way, thank you so much, but do not click off from this video without subscribing to my channel, pressing the notification bell so you don't miss out on any upcoming videos, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, lovelies.